Hi, these are my top motivational stories. Here's the story of the elephant rope, and this story is about belief. As a traveler was passing by the elephants, he suddenly stopped, confused by the fact that these enormous, powerful animals were being held by only a small rope tied to the front of their leg. No chains, no cages. It was obvious that the elephants could break away from their bonds at any time, but for some reason they did not. The traveler saw a trainer nearby and asked why these animals just stood there and made no attempt to get away. "Well," said the trainer, "when they are very young and much smaller, we use the same size rope to tie them at that age. It's enough to hold them, and as they grow up, they are conditioned to believe they cannot break away. They believe the rope can still hold them, so they never try to break free." The man was amazed. These animals could at any time break free from their bonds, but because they believed they couldn't, they were stuck right where they were. The moral of the story? Like the elephants, many of us go through life hanging on to a belief that we cannot do something simply because we failed at it once before. Failure is a part of learning. We should never give up. Believe that what you want to achieve is possible, and believe in yourself. The group of frogs. Encouragement. As a group of frogs was traveling through the woods, two of them fell into a deep pit. When the other frogs crowded around the pit and saw how deep it was, they told the two frogs that there was no hope left for them. However, the two frogs decided to ignore what the others were saying, and they proceeded to try and jump out of the pit. Despite their efforts, the group of frogs at the top of the pit were still saying that they should just give up, that they would never make it out. Eventually, one of the frogs took heed to what the others were saying, and he gave up, falling down to his death. The other frog continued to jump as hard as he could. Again, the crowd of frogs yelled at him to stop the pain and just die. He jumped even harder and finally made it out. When he got out, the other frog said, "Did you not hear us?" The frog explained to them that he was deaf. He thought they were encouraging him the entire time. Moral of the story: people's words can have a big effect on each other's lives. Think about what you say before it comes out of your mouth. It might just be the difference between life and death. And as well, do not listen to the naysayers. You will come across plenty of people in your life who will try and drag you down and tell you that you can't achieve things. Never listen to them. Surround yourself with people who encourage you to achieve your goals and follow your dreams. The King's Stone. This is about opportunity. In medieval times, a king had a boulder placed on a roadway. He then hid himself and watched to see if anyone would move the boulder out of the way. Some of the king's wealthiest merchants and courtiers came by and simply walked around it. Many people loudly blamed the king for not keeping the roads clear, but none of them did anything about getting the stone out of the way. A peasant then came along carrying a load of vegetables. Upon approaching the boulder, the peasant laid down his burden and tried to push the stone out of the road. After much pushing and straining, he finally succeeded. After the peasant went back to pick up his vegetables, he noticed a purse lying in the road where the boulder had been. The purse contained many gold coins, and a note from the king explaining that the gold was for the person who removed the boulder from the roadway. Moral of the story? Every obstacle we come across in life gives us the opportunity to improve our circumstances. And whilst the lazy complain, the others are creating opportunities through their kind hearts, generosity, and willingness to get things done. Be this type of person, Prophet. It will get you far.